There are 7 brutal truths I've learned about business that have resulted in me closing $100,000 in deals over the past year and a half. And over the rest of the video, I'll teach you exactly how to apply these so that way you can explode your business in 2025. Imagine being able to save years of your life because you just sat down and paid attention to one video. Well, that's exactly what this video is meant to be, a handbook on the most important lessons that you should keep in mind when trying to succeed in business. Number 1, you don't actually want to win. I've realized recently that I gotten a little bit more comfortable. I've just been like sitting on Instagram, texting a prospect, and then I'll scroll on Reels before my next call. And similar things like that. And that's made me reflect honestly on, well, am I really willing to do whatever it takes to succeed? Well, then I was thinking about this when reflecting, and then what I realized is I just need to set my standard higher. My standard of action needs to be higher than what it was before. And what I mean by this is that a lot of the time you will think that, oh, I'm failing. You're not really failing, because failure is just the discrepancy between your expectations for yourself and the standards you hold yourself at. So what you need to do is increase your standard of action and just say verbatim, I am doing this, no matter what. And not only say, but think, I am going to do this, and genuinely believe when you tell yourself that. Just as you won't go a day or at maximum 2 without maybe brushing your teeth or showering. And the easiest way to be able to do this and increase your standard is by changing and reframing your situation. As a lot of the time we think we need some new magical solution or some magic pill from another YouTube video, but truthfully that's not the case. You just need to understand that there will be challenges, there's going to be hardship, and the best thing you can do is change how you perceive that hardship to better benefit you. Well, your perception is just how you view the world. So if you can change how you view the world by understanding and genuinely internalizing that there is going to be things in your life that are going to be hard as you might see them, because you're going to have to delay gratification, and you're going to have to put in work, and you're going to have to sacrifice stuff for this thing. When you do realize that, that actually reframes your situation to being like, okay, I know this is going to show up and I know this is going to happen. But now that I've accepted that fact and I've raised my standards, it's going to slowly condition you to be different. Now you can't just do this sitting around thinking about it, because you can't think yourself out of procrastination, you can only act. So overthinking is completely useless. You have to do step number 2, which is pick a path and actually start now. And what I mean by this is you have this business set up, you're probably making some content, you're coaching somebody, maybe you have a couple clients. You have to say, I'm going to do this, and I'm 100% down for this no matter what. As the biggest destroyer to plan A is plan B. So if you constantly think, maybe I should do this, oh, I'd be okay if I have to go to college. No, there cannot be any of that. There shouldn't be a single amount of doubt in your mind, and anytime there is, you have to actually go the opposite direction, which goes to number 3, outwork the doubt. A lot of the time you'll feel doubt, and you'll notice is that the doubt that you feel is actually coming from your lack of action. In fact, I started to have a little bit more doubt recently, as the goal is to scale to $50,000 a month by the end of the year, which right now it's in early November, so that's just next month. Well, I hit $50,000 a month. I was having a little doubt, maybe I don't know if I could do it, maybe I'll just do it next year. And then I caught myself and I was like, hold on, I'm just taking less action than I was before. And if I don't hit it, then what I realized is that I just let the doubt seep in, resulting in my standards decreasing, because then the doubt was like, oh no, it's okay. You can just lower your standards. You're not going to hit it anyways. No, you have to raise your standards, and those have to be higher than what you expect of yourself, because you're not going to raise to the occasion. You're just going to fall to whatever your standard is. So then what I've realized is that I have to simply outwork the doubt by working 2 times harder than the doubt does to try to get into my subconscious, into my mind. Overall, every time you feel doubt, use it as fuel to do more work and solve more problems, which leads me to number 4, is that you are the problem, but you can also be the solution. And what I mean by this is that you don't actually have many business problems. You just have personal problems that reflect into your business, yet we a lot of the time crave novelty, meaning something new in business, but honestly, you don't need that. And you don't need anything new. You just need to realize that by you searching for something new and by you trying to perfect what you're doing is resulting in you getting a lack of progress. Because you're not looking internally at yourself and saying, I am the problem, but I can also be the solution to my goals. As recently, what I realized is that I literally don't need to know anything new. I know everything that I need to know to make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Now that might seem egotistical, or you might not believe that about yourself, but really take a look at your calendar. Take a look just throughout your day and ask yourself, what do I actually do? What am I actually getting done? Am I actually working as hard as I want to tell myself I am? And then you might realize that you've been deluding yourself into thinking that, hold on, I don't know anything, so I just need to learn more, buy another course or whatever, which I don't have any low-ticket course to sell you anyway, so I'll tell you and call these other people out that do have something to sell you, is that you don't need that. What you need is to take action on this stuff that you said you were going to do. Because if you don't do shit, you're not going to get the results that you want. And overall, the more work you do, the more opportunities you have to improve. So you can't just do the work. You have to look for methods and ways to improve every single time you do that action. And what I mean by this is that you can look at one part of the action and then see, okay, if I'm, for example, taking a sales call, and I notice that on this sales call, this guy, he says he's not interested in buying because he just bought from somebody else. How do I handle that objection? Well, there's maybe a different way. So then another guy tells me that thing, or it's a different objection, or maybe I'm just feeling nervous. There's so many different things you can pinpoint. You just have to choose one thing, and the next time you practice and you get a little better. And then slowly, as time goes on, you get better and better and better because you did the action, allowing you to see what you can improve, and furtherly bringing you to being able to not only make more money, but just overall become the type of person who's able to achieve goals past that point. And the best part about that is that you should then be able to have like a data pool to pull from. And as you're doing this action, you can get objective feedback from other people, because there's a difference between just having like a course or having a group of people that actually is able to say, or anybody who's able to say, hey, I've gotten these results, or I'm getting similar results right now. Let me give you a few pieces of advice on how you can potentially improve what you're doing right now. And actually, by the way, that's why I created a free community, just to congregate a bunch of online coaches or educational creators like yourself. So if you want to join that, and if you're interested, click the top link in the description, and you can get access to a community of other guys exactly like you. Now, number 5. You have to respect yourself, and you will do more work than you ever thought was imaginable. What I mean by this is that if you don't actually respect yourself and the boundaries that you hold yourself to, or that you say you're going to hold yourself to, and you don't actually respect that, then you're not going to do that throughout your day, obviously. To give you an example is that although I want people to show up on time, and I tell myself I'm going to show up on time, sometimes I'll wake up an hour late. Sometimes I'll go to sleep 2 hours late. Or there's going to be a call on my calendar, like looking at it. If there's a call on my calendar and this says, oh, it's booked at 6 a.m., maybe I show up at 6:02. So then what I've realized is I need to set clear boundaries of, hey, I'm going to do this, and constantly remind myself of the type of person that I want to become. And what you can do here is ask yourself, anytime you feel like you might be falling off, getting into a rut, or getting demotivated or burning out, simply ask yourself, what can I do right now to become the type of person who can achieve the goals that I have? And this applies to your price in your business as well. You might charge kind of low prices. Even if you think they might be a little high, I don't know if somebody will buy, charge higher, because you probably don't value your time. And now people say, yeah, don't connect your time to money. Well, why not just work more and get more money for it? I mean, if you work 50 hours a week, you could work 80 hours a week and charge higher prices for your stuff. You're like making so much more money. But that's only if you actually respect yourself. You're like, oh, you might think, well, why would somebody buy from me? I don't know. Why would somebody buy from me? There's so many other people out there. Are you even confident in yourself? Do you think you can deliver the results that you say you can? And if not, then you have to check and see why not? And then reflect and figure out, how can I raise my standards and how can I become like the type of person who can achieve the goals I have? And a lot of the time, how you do that is simply by only believing in things that actually benefit you, genuinely benefit you, to make more progress instead of fighting for a life that you don't even want to live. You might catch yourself literally arguing for something that does not benefit you in the long term. Now, talking about long term, number 6 is think long term and be patient. Instead of looking at how can I make money as soon as possible, what you have to think is long term. What I mean by this is maybe months or even years in the future. Now, you don't have to put a clear date that you're going to hit like a milestone of $10 million or something like that, because things always change. But what you do need to think about is, how can I develop skills which will allow me to increase my revenue potential? And how you do that is by focusing on what is the direct output of what you do. Well, you do something and then you get to learn, as learning fundamentally is acting with a different behavior when given the same condition. And slowly, as you change, as your behavior changes, that means you change how you react to your environment, and then your environment changes because of that, which means that it changes your behavior even more. And if you're able to take that positive spiral, that's going to be fantastic for you, because you're able to build this positive upward spiral. But you can only do that if you're able to cultivate the patience which is necessary to be able to wait for materialistic success or your conditions to change. Because money is a lagging indicator of the action you do. Meaning that the money you make comes after the initial indicator of what you do. So you might do 100 hours of work every week for a month. That doesn't automatically mean you're going to make $100,000 a month next month. But if you do that every month for a year, that work you did will compound, and then you'll make that money. But not only that, you're going to be set up to make even more in the future. Because a lot of the time, the work you do today doesn't result in the results you get tomorrow, but it results in the results you get a year from now or two. So the biggest thing you don't want to forget is that a lot of the time when you do see results, it's not the stuff you're doing yesterday or even the past week. It was the stuff you did months or even years ago that set you up for this greatness. Or if you haven't seen as much greatness as you want, it's setting you up for more in the future. But the thing is, you'll only be able to actualize that greatness and those results and making that money if you are able to consistently put in effort and put in the work. And imagine being able to put in the work, seeing tens of thousands or even $100,000 go into your bank account. Imagine what that would do for your life. Well, it's not entirely your fault that you actually haven't seen those results yet. You've been led astray and down different paths by maybe your teachers, your parents, or your friends, and you've been conditioned to believe that you can make the money you want in the completely wrong way. So what's the easiest way to get those results even faster? Well, it's by learning from someone who has gotten the results you want and has done the things you want to do. Therefore, I created a free private community filled with online educational coaches and content creators exactly like yourself, and teaching them how to increase their sales so they can get to making tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars within a year. Meaning the guys in the community have exclusive access to methods they're using to kill you in business. So go click the top link in the description to get access to join the community, and you'll learn exactly how I scaled from $800 a month to $8,000 a month as a 17-year-old online coach. Go join now and take a life-changing step, or don't, and be in a perpetual cycle of lies and live the same average lifestyle just because you're not willing to take some action and change. The choice is yours, but I think we both know which is the right one.